Push now. This is our race. That was the message from Ferrari to Lewis Hamilton during the Monaco Grand Prix. A classic Ferrari call. And yet to Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, it meant absolutely nothing. No context, no clarity, no target, just a line shouted into the void of Monaco's concrete jungle. Because here's the reality. When you're nearly a minute off the lead, stuck in no man's land, and your race engineer tells you, "This is our race," it doesn't sound like motivation. It sounds like confusion disguised as optimism. Hamilton, who had already pulled off a neat overcut on Hajar and Alonso, was left to wonder, which race are we talking about exactly? Let's zoom out. Hamilton started P7 after that grid penalty for impeding Verstappen. He finished 5th, a net gain sure, but 51 seconds behind Lando Norris, and a full half-minute adrift of Verstappen. He wasn't battling, he wasn't defending, he wasn't undercutting or overcutting anymore. He was drifting, alone, in the Monte Carlo abyss. But Ferrari thought it was our race. Let that sink in. When Hamilton asked for a simple gap to the cars ahead, Verstappen, Piastri, Leclerc, and Norris, he got radio fog. No straight answer. "You're not answering the question," Hamilton told Riccardo Adami. "I'm just asking, am I a minute behind?" That's not a strategic check-in. That's a driver on autopilot, searching for something to chase, and getting silence in return. And about that infamous push now moment. Hamilton, in his own words, "The information wasn't exactly that clear. I didn't really understand. This is our race. What am I fighting for?" Let's call it what it is. Strategic ambiguity, masking a lack of real-time awareness. He pushed and burned up his tires, only to realize later through the data that there was no one close enough to catch. Now, let's add context. This is Lewis Hamilton, the most experienced analytical driver on the grid, a master at conserving rubber, judging deltas, and managing pace. And even he couldn't decode the message. This isn't about one vague radio call. It's a symptom, a flashing red light. Because when a team like Ferrari tells Lewis Hamilton, in Monaco of all places, to push now, they better have a damn good reason. But here's the provocation nobody wants to say out loud. What if they didn't? What if it wasn't a tactical move, but a morale booster dressed up in urgency? What if Ferrari is still learning how to manage a generational talent with a feedback loop sharper than their own strategy box? And most critically, what if Hamilton's pushing, but the team behind him isn't keeping up? Leclerc, meanwhile, finished P2, a brilliant home drive. But the gap between teammates is now up to 16 points. It's starting to feel less like a fresh start for Hamilton, and more like he's still getting settled in a garage that can't translate his instincts into action. You're watching Paddock Insider, where we say what the paddock whispers and decode the silence between the radio calls. Hit that like, subscribe, and remember, in Formula One, confusion isn't strategy, it's just slower.